Right, the Reds, Mondays talking Reds, me, Gareth Roberts, I'm back, and I'm joined today by James Sutton, who you should know because he's dead famous and that.
Behave.
We're going to do the usual and talk about things that are going on in the world of the Reds. Back in action this weekend, of course, Liverpool against Watford. Another international break just gone there. You know what we think of international breaks on here by now. We're not going to bang on about that. But, Joe Gomez played well for England, so that's good. Shaqiri played well for Switzerland, so that's good. But it's all about the Reds and all about what the Reds can do against Watford at the weekend. And there'll be loads on the Anfield app this week previewing that match. There'll be a podcast as well later today, a free one, where we look at the season so far and what's ahead and that sort of thing. Looking forward to recording that one. I'm hosting that one as well. I think Neil's legged it or something, gone on holiday again, don't know where he is. Anyway, stuff that's in the news then. Shaqiri's done an interview, mate, and he's good at these. He's good at them because he says something, do you know what I mean? He doesn't just, trot out the platitudes and all that. He'll have a little pop, he'll be a little bit spiky. He's done loads of stuff where he's basically gone, I'm good,
Yeah.
which I like. Do
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? He's played for Inter, he's played for Bayern Munich, why not? You know what I mean? I think he's too associated with Stoke for some reason. But anyway, he's come out and said, I wouldn't have a cup of coffee with Gary Neville, is right. I mean, basically, obviously, Neville and his brother, Gary Anfield, both got stuck into him during the summer, during the World Cup, both questioning his attitude and stuff like that. Obviously, he's done all right so far, both for club and country this season, assists and goals everywhere you look, really. And so he's saying now, he's asked about the Gary Neville situation. He said, would you have a cup of coffee with him? He says, no, not at all. I don't care what he says. I don't care if he says now that I'm playing hard. Many have ridiculed me after the transfer that Liverpool is too big for me. I do not bring my services for my critics.
That's a lovely quote, that,
Brilliant,
isn't it? I do not bring my services for my critics. That's two fingers up there, isn't it?
What do you think of him so far?
I probably echo what I think most people think, really. He's been a revelation. I don't think any of us thought that he'd be anything more than, a squad player at best, get maybe cup games and what have you. But I mean, he's benefited from us having injuries, and players like Henderson being out, and he's been a revelation. I think everyone's been super impressed, and quotes like that, I mean, that's just going to endear him even more to our fan base. Anyone that sticks two fingers up at Gary Neville, I mean, they're okay in my book.
Did you see his glorious little flick for Switzerland?
I did see his glorious little flick.
It's absolutely sublime. I mean, it's like, if you haven't seen it, it's all over the internet. Type his name into Twitter, it'll definitely come up. But basically, he's sort of faced with two defenders. Doesn't really seem to be like a way out. He's right on the touchline. There's a bit of a drag back heel flick type thing. I can't even describe it.
It's cute.
It's lovely.
It's really cute.
It sets the fella up for the cross. It leads to a goal, and that's what you want from him. I mean, lots of people now as well saying, I mean, we know that Klopp sort of likes industry. He loves James Milner. Milner runs further than any other player in the Premier League. Henderson's injured again. That's another bit of news from international duty. But when he is in the side again, he brings industry. But I think what people are saying now is, well, we like the industry, but we want to see Shaqiri. We want to see these mad flicks and tricks.
I didn't realise he was as skillful as he is. I mean, it's obviously very difficult when you play in a Stoke side that, I mean, Christ, the way that they set up for the most part for the last 5-6 years, I mean, it's just been awful. So it's really difficult to shine in a squad like that. But suddenly, being surrounded by better players, this is what it does to if you've got a bit of talent, and suddenly you've got, Fabinho ahead of you and like you say, Milner or whoever next year. The world's your oyster, man.
And he's not playing for Mark Hughes or Paul Lambert anymore, which is obviously another bonus, really. So looking forward to it. Some involvement from him, hopefully, at the weekend, because maybe he can be the man to unlock Watford. Elsewhere then, around the international scene, Solanki scored 2 goals for England under 21s. There's Origi's been linked with Wolves today, and it's not the first time he's been linked with moves away. Seems there is quite a bit of interest in him in the January window. Doesn't seem like Liverpool would stand in his way as well. He did make the bench the other day. He did come on, obviously. But you think maybe Solanki should be ahead of him because, it looks like Solanki's going to actually stick around. I mean, Solanki's a weird one, isn't he? We still don't quite know what we've got there.
Yeah, he has had little, he has had little opportunities. He played a bit last season. He's obviously a very talented boy. I mean, they both are. They're both good lads, talented lads. It seems like they've got good attitudes. Neither one of them have complained particularly, I don't think, about lack of opportunities. But are either one of them going to start for Liverpool in the next? You can't see it. So then it depends on ambition, doesn't it? And where you see yourself in 12, 18 months' time. I think they both end up leaving in the next couple of years. I think certainly Origi, I think, goes either in January or at the end of the season. I just don't think for a player, he's still young. He's an international player. He wants opportunity. He needs opportunity. I can't see him sticking around much longer.
I think the other one with that particular equation as well is that you've got Ryan Brewster around. Klopp's already sort of bigged him up. He's got his professional contract now.
That's right.
He seems to be stepping up his training, and so the likelihood is if he's getting anywhere near fitness and you need a bit of an option up front, probably going to be him, isn't it?
Well, you're looking at being what, 5th or 6th choice, maybe. I mean, that's really tough, especially for a young lad with a good attitude. I think he'd do really well for someone like Wolves. Wolves play football the right way. Yeah. They play, they're a great manager. They're an exciting team, great fan base, and someone like Origi, he'd be fantastic there, I think.
If you did watch England, if that's your bag, you will have seen that.
Did you not watch it?
I mean, watch the highlights, just to throw them abreast of the situation. But
first game I've watched in ages. Was
it good?
No, not really, but not great. But it was exciting at the end. The last 10 minutes, they really went for it. And even I went, oh, that was good. That was a nice goal.
Are you into the Nations League then?
I don't even know what it is.
No one does.
I didn't know what. I was chatting to my dad. I was like, is this a knockout? He was like, no, it's a league. So what do you mean it's a league? No one told me. I mean, not that you need to run anything by me, but I hadn't got a clue.
But they've qualified apparently, and they're in the semis now.
Fantastic news.
But yeah, Lingard did score from a huge throw from Joe Gomez. Thomas Gronemark, probably saying that wrong, apologies, but he's Liverpool's throwing coach. Obviously, lots of people took the piss out of this, including the dinosaur that is Andy Gray. But here's a fantastic throw from Joe Gomez, leading to a goal. This is kind of the point. This is why we got the fella in, and the fella himself is actually tweeting footage of Gomez's goal going, good throwing, that one.
Told you, didn't I? I love all that, mate. I remember was it Stoke that first started doing that?
They had Rory Delap.
They had Rory Delap, and he'd wipe the ball, and then he'd.
Sam Mayer did it as well with Dave Challoner. They used to have
there you are.
They used to have towels around the pitch, and they threw them to Dave so he could clean off the ball, and then he had this big mammoth throw. Yeah,
but it's a great tactic. If you need a late goal and you've got a throw in, man, like you can ping that ball and you can be
like a cross. It's like a corner.
It's better than that because you can be even more precise with it, man. And it's a lovely. I mean, obviously you've seen Gomez. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's part of the game, isn't it? And I think we talked about it before, but I just think, it's marginal gains. If it leads to 1, 2 or 3 goals across the course of the season, it's worth doing.
Anything you can do to win.
Yeah, and how long is it going to take as well? So, you knock around on the training field, you do your exercises, you do your drills, you do whatever, and then he just takes you aside and goes, come over here, let's work on your throw-ins a little bit.
Half hour, sound.
Happy days.
On a bit of that.
Because what else are they doing? Going on the golf course or going playing on the PlayStation? I sound like your dad, don't I?
You've never sounded like your dad so much.
Your dad is back. Anyway, okay, the final thing on the item.
I've heard you. I can't even do it with a straight face. I've heard you've got a new job, Gareth. Would you like to tell me all about it?
I have, mate. That wasn't scripted at all. The reason why I haven't been on this as much or the podcast as much as I'm doing some other work. I'm still involved with the Anfield app. I probably always will be, one of them. But I'm doing some work for a company called the Fans Agency. And the idea behind this is it is a sporting agency that represents football players, but it does things a little bit differently. So some of the profits will go back into grassroots football. We're going to be giving away around about 20 grand or so pretty soon to a grassroots club somewhere around the country. We're going to figure out a way of sort of getting a competition and picking a winner and giving them the money, that kind of thing. So that's all in the process of happening. But they're also going out trying to sign players. But yeah, money back to grassroots, but also properly committed to the idea of player care as well. So it's the idea that certainly things around mental health and stuff like that, just looking after them properly, caring about them, not dropping them like a stone if they get an injury or they dip out from a club or whatever, properly committed to player care. Like I say, that's the idea.
It sounds terrific, man.
I mean, I really like the sort of ethos of it. It's starting from scratch. It's hard to get traction for the stuff at the moment. I'm in charge of the content. I've produced some content. I'd be very grateful if any of you who are watching who might like me or whatever. If you could follow the Fans Agency across all platforms, so they are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc. Get the numbers up for me. It looks like I'm doing a good job then, doesn't it? But also I did do, we've launched a podcast as well. It's not about the Reds, it's just about football in general, but it's called Football Insiders. The idea is that we've got Danny Wilson on board at the Fans Agency, not the former centre-half at Liverpool, the former manager of Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United, Barnsley, Chesterfield, etc, etc, etc. He played 600 games as a pro, over 1,000 games as a manager. So he's got a lot of experience, a lot of good stories. He managed Paolo Di Canio, and I'm going to show you the clip now, finish with a clip of me interviewing Danny for the first ever Fans Agency podcast, where he had a bit of a chat about Paolo Di Canio. So that has been Talking Reds. Make sure you listen to the podcast, and make sure as well that if you're not subscribing to the Anfield app, give it a go. And also, you can give gift cards to a fellow Red so that they can subscribe to the Anfield app. It's a good prezi, that, isn't it?
That's a great prezi.
It's a good prezi.
Christmas is round the corner, man.
It's better than socks. The Anfield app, better than socks. Here's Paolo and Danny and me, etc. Follow the Fans Agency. Up the Reds.
Paolo was different. Paolo is different. Always will be different. We didn't see eye to eye on some things. Other things, I just used to sit back and just in awe of him. I'll tell you a nice story. Actually, it's when I was asked to take over the job at Wednesday. Ron Atkinson had just left, so pre-season again. So I thought, well, I'll phone Ron up and just see what it's like there. So I phoned Ron up, and he was my manager, as you know from before, and he just said, "Dan, you've got to take it." He said, "The fans know you, they love you, you know the club inside out, you know the chairman. They've got a good bunch of players here. They need handling, but you'll be all right." So I thought, well, I'll have a go. So the first day of training we set up, and Paolo doesn't show up for training. So I've got two choices. I either phone Ron up and just say, what's happening, or I phone Paolo up. I phone Paolo up. So I said, "Paolo, you're supposed to be training today?" No, mister. No, that's what they call coaches, mister. No, mister, no. He says, Big Ronnie said I could have an extra 2 weeks off. I thought, well, again, I've got a choice. Do I phone Ron up and ask him if that was the case? Or do I say, right, okay, I'll see you in 2 weeks? Well, I thought, well, Ron's going to say no, he didn't. I didn't give him any time off, so that becomes a conflict straight away. So I thought, I'm not going to have that. So I let him go. So 2 weeks later, on the Monday, he reports, and we're at a place called Bishop Abbey. And by that time, the lads are 2 weeks into their pre-season training. They're training ever so well. They're running hard. They've done all the long distance stuff, and they're now starting shortening down. But very, very, very difficult training session still to come. So Paolo comes in and he said, "Morning, mister. Morning. Nice to meet you, Paolo." Shake hands and, "Right, Paolo, I want you to go with the fitness coach because you're 2 weeks behind the rest of the boys. Go with a fitness coach, do a little bits with them." He said, "Oh, no, mister. No, I'm not doing that. I'm with the players. I want to go with the players." "Paolo, I can't afford you to get injured. You're one of our better players. You've got to look after yourself."
Yeah.
No. I'm the fittest man here. I wouldn't have it. Anyway, so I thought, well, if that's the case, we'll have to see. It'll prove to be in the pudding. So we set off, and at the time the boys are doing track work. And so we've got 800 metres, 400s, 200s, 150s, and then back up again. It's really, really demanding from a player's point of view. So I put Paolo in the fastest group. So I put him in Carlton Palmer, was Roland Nielsen, all these type of players who really could run. So we put him in the main group. So we finished all the running, and the lads are absolutely whacked. So afterwards, we just sat down. Paolo comes over to me and says, "Thanks for that, mister." He won every race bar one.
Wow.
Every race bar one. And my respect went up there. I thought, well, you put yourself in a position where your mouth was shooting off, but you came up with the goods,